Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel, brother, from the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson through the Spirit about the straight gate, entering into the straight gate, okay, because the truth is all about going through straits. You know, like the scripture said, that the righteous suffer straits. And, you know, if you in this thing, that's the only way to go is through the straight gate. Because any other way, the scriptures call you a thief and a robber. Okay? And that being said, man, you know, you want to strive for perfection to the best of your ability, because in this thing, there's no shortcuts. Okay? You ain't going to be able to do jump around or jump through hoops in order to maintain a incorruptible crown, because the scriptures goes into corruptible crowns, incorruptible crowns. And certain men, they enter in through another way, okay, by changing the doctrine, you know, having particular congregations and so forth to do their wicked bidding, and, you know, the list goes on, you know, coming against the teachers and so forth. These are all going around the straight gate to obtain your own and your corruptible crown. Because in this thing, man, you know, you want to be blameless. And we know that we're not blameless because the thing of the flesh, but you want to be blameless in the spirit, meaning having your spirit dedicated to serving Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay. So anyway, got a couple of precepts here. This is Matthew 7. And I'm going to start at verses 13. It says here, enter ye in at the straight gate. Okay, it says, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. Okay, so that's the point. Going into the straight gate, because any other way outside the truth, that's path one destruction. Okay, like you got churches out here, you got different religions, you have different ways of so-called serving God, as the world says. Well, there's more than one way to worship the Most High, but the scriptures tell you there's only one way to worship the Most High. Okay, and that's do knowing the name of the Lord. Okay, praying to the Lord, doing the work, and knowing that you're a Hebrew Israelite, according to the scriptures, man, and believing in the true doctrine, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Those are the only ways to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, but it says, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And it says, and many there be which go in thereat. Okay, meaning that it's going to be more people that's going to be destroyed than that's going to make it. Why? Because they chose to enter into the broad way. Okay, the easy way, shortcuts. You know, guys fall off, take breaks. You know, some guys take a 5-6 year hiatus and then they come back like they never left. You know, as we had the term, all you blowing, you're dusting off the garments. No, man, you got to be consistently in this thing to the end, because the scriptures say he who endured to the end, the same should be saved. Okay, so I was doing some meditating this morning about just certain things that we go through as men in this faith. You know, you have a lot of ups and downs, sometimes more downs than ups. It's like you. But you have that spout of darkness that you go through the truth when you get depressed or you get stressed out. You know, you go through the moments when you get sick, things happen in your body. You go through the things when you're up, when things seem to be well. But these are all entering in the straight gate. Okay, because Yahweh Shai said, it says, he who loseth his life for my sake shall find it. But he who try to find or save his life, he shall lose it. Okay, so you got to be willing to deal with whatever comes along with this thing. You got to be willing to deal with, you know, the punches and whatever wickedness or whatever bullshit that comes to hunt you. Okay, because you're going to be tried in this thing. Okay, the Lord going to put you through certain things to see if you're worthy. And in times he puts you through situations you may not, you know, you may not know if it's to destroy you or to make you come out on an outcome. But if you have a single eye towards your Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you will see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you got to focus on seeing that light, no matter how dark it seems, because the scriptures goes into the trials and the sufferings are not pleasant at this time. It's not. You know, brothers going through, like I just developed this fucking foot injury. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's over years of wear and tear, you know, sports and gymnastics and shit like that, standing on my feet. And I got flat feet. You know, I have no heel, I'm totally off balance. But, you know, now it's finally catching up with me. And I'm just like, shit. You know, it's hard to deal with because, you know, I'm used to being able to be mobile. So Jake got to take it easy. But regardless of that, you know, doctors, you go to doctors, they ask you questions, are you diabetic and all that other shit. And I'm like, no, you know, according to my knowledge, I'm not, you know, from when I've gotten tested. But you just, they put all that shit in your ear and they give you different diagnoses and stuff like that when it could just be a simple tear. But then, Satan, he plays on your mind. You start feeling other aches and pains in your body. Your body starts to lock up on you. You start to think like, oh shit, and first thing I'm thinking, like, I need to be healthy to do the work. I got to do the work, so we got to try to get through it and see it to the end, because what good are we if we are not able-bodied to do the work? We can't go out and speak, or, we're totally paralyzed in a coma some damn where, which, the Most High, he gets us out of all things. But they're just speaking on a few situations, because, I know brothers in this thing that got life-threatening illnesses that they don't really speak about. But those men are entering through the straight gate. All right. But it says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth into life. If few there be that find it, right? So you're going to be a lot of men that's going to be destroyed in this thing. A lot of men is not going to make it. Okay, so count yourself blessed, and hopefully that you're worthy when the Lord is putting you through certain things and you continue to persevere, because it's all about pushing to the mark. Okay, it's not pleasant. It don't feel good, but it's all about that perseverance, man. Stand in the spirit, doing what we're supposed to do. All right. So I got another precept here. I got one in Luke 13, and I'm going to start at verses 24. It says, strive. Okay, and when you're striving, meaning you're fighting. It says, strive to enter in at the straight gate. It says, for many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able. Okay, because when all hell break loose, you have a lot of men, women, whoever, they're going to come up and they're going to try to get the oil. They're going to try to learn. They're going to try to want to get on the right path after they've done their folly here in America for God knows how long. Then, they're going to be ready to try to make things right with the Most High. But the scriptures say they should seek me early and not find me. You see? So the time to get right is now. The time to do the work is now. Okay, like today, everybody is at this damn Chiefs parade. It's cold as hell outside. And they're standing outside in the cold for bread and circus. Which, it's not really off. But, at the same time, it's still commemorating an idol. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'm not finna go down to no damn parade. Definitely I'm not finna be standing up all day, and I'm not finna camp out overnight to see a team that won a Super Bowl that was rigged, and I'm not even from here. If it's Chicago Bulls, it'd be different. Nah, I'm just talking shit. But no, just to point people, their priorities. I'm not knocking people that went to it, but it's just their priorities are misplaced. Like, we're doing the work of the Lord, so if we wanted to go down there for some folly or for some bread and circus entertainment, then we'd be justified because we put in the work of the Lord first. But these people, they're not even caring to cater to Yahweh Shai. So therefore, they serve their idols. Okay, it says, because when once the master of the house has risen up and have shut the door is this truth, man. Okay, that spiritual ark. Like when Noah was out prophesying, what happened? He was prophesying for over 100 years, and then the Most High came and sealed the ark. The doors were shut. The doors of salvation at that time was shut into the rest of the world. Okay, and we're coming upon times swiftly. We're coming upon them times ASAP, and you can see it, man. All right, and it says, and you begin to stand without. And what's without? Without Yahweh Shai, without this wisdom and understanding, and to knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us. And he should say unto you, I know you not when she are. Basically, Lord, like, I don't know who the hell you are. Who are you? Nah, you ain't coming up in here. And then shall ye begin to say, we have eaten and drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets, okay? Which proves that you got to go out to the streets and teach, okay? Not the damn churches, but you got men out there on the streets that's winging it, okay? You got men that's going against the doctrine, the breakdown, saying that the 5-hour breakdowns on just false doctrine, on wicked doctrine. Let me show y'all how we gonna break this down, Ak. Those gonna be the men that the Lord is gonna close that door onto. All right, and it says, we have drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets. But he should say, I tell you, I know you not whence ye are. Depart from me, all ye that work iniquity. Okay, and it says, and there should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And when ye should see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of the Most High, which proves reincarnation. Okay, everybody comes back, and you yourselves thrust out. And that's the point, So you guys out there that's playing games with the word, like now Nate is teaching the CBDC now. Okay, but he's not going into the fact that he used to buck up against us for teaching that the MOTB was the C-hip. Like the apostle said, these men are going to do what they're going to, like the apostle said, he said, these men, what they're going to do, they're going to figure out how to slip the doctrine in there, and then they're gonna always make it seem like they was teaching it. When we got footages of them guys going off. Like it was last year, I had an account about IUIC. They was passing out the flyers. I was coming from the grocery store, and I was asking him, I'm like, what is the C-hip? And he gonna say it was sin. I'm like, well, how the hell can you buy and sell with sin? They're like, well, brother, we ain't, and then he had to get down the street. I remember that, and I'm a witness of it because I dealt with it. It was like 3 or 4 guys, man. I was at this grocery store called Price Chopper, man, on 63rd Street. I remember I don't remember the day, but I remember around what time, and I remember who I was dealing with, and I remember what store I was at. So they can't go back and say, well, we always taught. No, the fuck y'all didn't. Okay, we got several sound bites of you guys teaching some folly, man. So you can't go there. All right. And that's why you guys gonna get jacked up. But this is the book of 2 Esdras 7. And I'm gonna start at 2. It says, and he said it to me, up Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, speak on, my power. Then he said unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But the case of the interest was narrow and like a river. It says, who then can go into the sea and look upon it and to rule it? It's a question he asks. And if he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Okay, and the broad is going to represent the kingdom of heaven. But the narrow is this truth going through the dark depths of the deep, man. Because sometimes you feel like you don't know if you're going to make it, man. Okay, and every brother can attest. Every brother that's in this thing, they're fighting. Okay, it may seem simple. They may seem, they pumping these shows out. But, hey, brothers are getting tired, man. Brothers are getting tired. You can hear it in their spirit. They're wore out, man. Okay, our bodies are wore out. We're tired, man, And not even only us. Think about the men that's been in this before us. How long they've labored. How long they've been doing the work. Since their early 20s, late teens, man, and up in the 50s and 60s. You don't think these men are tired? Especially when there wasn't no sign of any fruit coming in. But they kept going off faith, which is a good example, which shows us the strength to endure and to persevere if you believe. Okay, so, those men are going, then we have no right to say, well, we're tired. Yeah, we're wore out, we're tired, but, it ain't nothing to really make a complaint about it when you got the older men that's still going strong. And they're more lax into it. It's like it's a lifestyle. Okay, it's kind of like when you're learning how to control your power, like when Gohan was being trained up in a hyperbolic time chamber, he couldn't really harness his power to control it. But once he became seasoned and understood how to throw the Kamehameha wave, he was rolling with it, man. But when you're a newborn baby in this thing, you got maybe 5 to 10 to 12 years in this thing, you still fumbling the ball at times. You're still tripping over your own 2 feet. You're still trying to figure out how to make this thing work for you, and you work for it. How to incorporate the truth in your life and balance everything out from family, wife, kids, jobs, all this shit we go through. All right. And it says here, and there's also another thing. The city is builded and set upon a broad field, and it's full of all good things. But it says the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. So think about a narrow bridge, right? A narrow bridge with fire and water on each side. And you have holes in this bridge. You have no guardrails. You may have a guardrail every so often. But you have holes here. You have potholes there. You may have to jump. You may have to climb off the side of the bridge and duck crawl your way to the other side. You know what I'm saying? And if you fall, then you hope the angels catch you, But think about look up on YouTube the world's most 10 dangerous bridges, and you would get an analogy of the scripture. I look up those things pretty often because I used to have a lot of dreams about bridges when I was younger. There's this one bridge by my mother's house, and the bridge just scared the shit out of me because it was surrounded by this body of water called the Little Calumet River, which, that's a very, very suspect. Put it to you like that. A lot of people drowned in that thing. Divers, and one guy fell off. He may have been drunk, and then 2 divers went in and they fucking drowned. And this is professional divers to save one person, and they died. So you can get what I'm getting at. It's pretty frightening shit, okay? But basically, that's the analogy of it. It says, there was fire on right hand and on the left deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and water, so small that there could not be one man that go at once. So it was almost like a tightrope, okay? We're tightrope walking. It says, in the city now were given unto the man for an inheritance, but if he never should pass the dangers set before it, how should he receive this inheritance? Okay, and that's the point. So we got to go through the dark shit, man. You got to go through the things you don't want to go through. You got to go through being told bad news, people that you care about dying, passing on, moving on in relationships, your woman finding another man, meeting up with new people. These are things you got to deal with. Your health changes, you get older. These are things you have to deal with, so just embrace, man, and Lord's will, we almost out of this thing. But hey, how about Shimi, how was shy about Shimmer Kakwadash? Lord's will get edified into the next lesson. Shalom.